Yeah, now it's just one problem after another. Because I have to go with the next size up. I have to go to a, where the hell are we? 3/8, because he's got a 3/8 head on this thing. So that fits there. But guess what? It's got to go in that hole. Hello, it doesn't fit. So I'm not going to get down in there to put it on. I wonder if I got a shallower, not a shallower, but a thinner. I know some of the snap-ons are usually thinner cased, so I'm going to check to see if I have a thinner cased 3/4. Okay, luckily enough, like I said, snap-on was thin enough so I can actually get the lug on there and everything is copacetic. So you want to, well, I'm sure you can't tell the difference, and you're not going to be able to see the spacers on there. But I can see that we're definitely, 5 inches apart, but 2.5 on each side, because I can actually see the fill. Let me get a better picture so I can see what I'm looking at here. That little lug right there, that comes out, so I can put grease in there. The one on, where are it? This side over here, this one. And normally that tire, whoops, where the hell I go? Normally the tire, where's my finger? Whoa, big finger. Normally my tire is over that. So now I can actually fill that without taking the tire off. Because I drain it once a year and fill it with fresh. And the same for both sides. And it's easier, actually going to make it easier for me to grease when I do the grease fittings. So it's working out better all the way around now that it's on there. A little bit of a pain in the ass, between the nut or the lugs and such, because of the, turn off the light, because of the lug setup. Because originally, like I said, he expected me to use my lugs to hold the spacers on, which they just don't fit his dimensions according to what his dimensions say John Deere is using, which they may have changed from the time that I bought my tractor. So he made me newer ones, and they came today, and I think I told you about that. And these fit my my hub on the tractor, and they also, because of the large bevel, fit his spacer. However, my impact tool socket, when that goes in, oh hello, that didn't fit. So luckily, like I say, I remember Snap-on always having a thinner wall. So by digging out the Snap-on tool, I was able to, at that point, get it so it fits in. It's not an impact, but it works. So I don't know if I'd try it with a cheaper, Japanese set or not. But your Max and your Snap-ons and SKs, stuff like that, I'm sure you shouldn't have a problem with it. So, or even the, I think Lowe's sells it, the Kubota, or what the hell is it called? Cobalt, I think it is. So even the Cobalts are pretty good. Alright guys, I am done for the day. I'm going to do this tomorrow, and tomorrow I will show you, so I'm going to charge up the camera. So be ready, because you're going to see the complete installation of one spacer from beginning to end. Yay! Yeah, you're gonna love to see that. Catch you later, guys. Well, guys, I didn't bore you with the whole thing. Besides, it would have taken too long. However, they're done, and there's 2.5 on each wheel, so that gives me 5. And you can definitely see the difference on both the front and the back, because that space that you're seeing in there you would not normally see, because that wheel would normally be right up against that piece of frame that you're seeing there. So tight so that those chains would not make it. So you definitely got a nice spread. So what I'm going to do is turn the tractor around, because I got to put the front ones on. I put the spacers on, but I forgot to put the chains on the wheels. Fortunately for me, the chains for the front are smaller, and I can use the bucket just to lift up the front end, and it'll be a lot easier to put them on. The backs were a bit of a pain in the ass. So, but with that being said and done, hopefully everything will work out just fine, and I should have no problems. So when I get the front facing inwards, I'll let you see what's going on. And hopefully my new seat will be in, because I'm waiting for that. Yeah, guys, I really hate to bore you with this, but you know, I made a video on it last night. I may or may not post that one, so I will probably post this one. I got the chains on the back. I did a couple of short videos on what I did. The tires were already off because I had to put the spacers on, so each tire now is out 2.5 inches beyond where it was originally. So in the rear, this tire was probably in about there. So this part about here was showing 2.5 inches. I had to do that because I have the backhoe attachment, and with the backhoe attachment, if you run chains without running at least a 1-inch spacer, you're going to destroy the chains, and it's going to kind of bang up against the frame and make a mess of things. I wasn't aware of that when I bought the chains. The dealer apparently failed to tell me some of these things, but I put the chains on last year only to find out that they started tearing the chains up, so I had to take them off and realign the chains, and had to rehook some of them back because they actually came disconnected. But anyway, when I say disconnected, I mean the cross links. So I got that all done. So what was going to be a couple-hour project turned into a 2-day project, only because, you know, my back doesn't really want to hold out as much, and seeing that I had a lot of extra work to do with straightening out chains and fixing chains, I may show a couple of the videos. They're short, but anyway, the backs are done. It's got a nice stance now. I got 2.5 inches out on each wheel. Everything's fine. There was a brief problem with some of the lug nuts versus spacers, wheel to spacer, spacer to hub. I'll go through that shortly. But now to the front. Now the front this last year, and there was no problems, because the fronts really didn't need the spacers, but I put them on anyway. So there's also a 2.5-inch spacer on each front wheel. So I've got an even amount across front to rear. I got a 5-inch spread total. So anyway, I pulled the chains down that I had hanging up here on these hooks. So they were hanging, everything was fine. I put it on, and when I put it on, this tire on this chain, as well as the other one, was 3 links, cross links, longer than it's supposed to have been. Now last year, these chains fit these tires perfectly, so I have no idea what happened. But when I put these on, I had to overlap 3 links because the chain was that much longer. So we're talking at least 9 inches or 10 inches longer than it was last year. I still haven't figured it out. So it also in there, because of the 9 inches or 10 inches longer there, and because of the 4-inch slack in the chain for adjustment, I ended up with almost 15 inches of sloppy chain at this point, because I had to remove 3 of the cross links in order for it to fit right. I didn't want to have doubled up links going across and just tangling up on one another. Plus it would have rode a lot rougher than it already rides with chains. So that's what I had done. Now next year, if in fact I don't have to add them again, I'm going to cut the excess side chain off, so I just have my normal 4-inch or 4 or 5 links, you know, just to get it on there to make the adjustments, because they always give you a couple extra links for adjustments. So I have to put the tension springs on here and get that over with. But before I bother with that, I gotta get this one working. And this one here hasn't been cut yet, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. This is the normal chain, but look at all this other crap I got laying around here, and it's not even tight yet. So when I start tightening up this chain on this tire, on this wheel, it's going to be a good 9 inches or better overlap on the tire. So I don't understand how the hell that ever happened. It's the same tires, same chains. Nothing has changed. Now, just for you who may think, oh maybe, because my wife already said this, and it's an impossibility, maybe I mixed up the front and the rear. Well, if the front chains are smaller than the rear, and the rears are 12-inch wide as well, or 15-inch wide, there's no way that I mixed up these 2 chains. So let's get that out of the way completely. I don't understand how it happened. I mean, even if I was to put more air in these tires, it's still not going to stretch it 9 inches. I just don't understand how it ever happened. And if they weren't on there last year, I would have thought about it. But they were on there last year, and they fit. So anyway, I got to take off 3 cross links so I can get this on there, and then I'm done with the wheels. This tractor this year has been fighting me all the way, and I'll do another short video on that so I don't make this one too long. So if you want to hear my struggles, go to the next video. I'll call this one part 1, and part 2 will be the next one, the struggle. Well guys, here's where I'm at. I had to cut 3 more links off of this one, so that's done. When I say links, I'm actually talking about, what the hell am I doing here? I'm talking about the cross chains, actually, because again, it was 2, 3, too long. So if I left them on there, this is where it ends. I'd have another here, here, and here, so these would be doubled and just clustering up, getting one other's way. And you can see the leftover chain that I actually have here since then, and I've already used a hog clip on one, and I'm going to do the rest of them for now. I'm just going to hog tie them. And this spring, when I take them off, I'll cut them up and make sure everything's right and the right size. And you know, I'll take off probably about 9 or 10 inches or so, because I only need like 4 links, extra links. I don't need all this. So, but like I say, for now on both sides, I'll just, you know, tie them up there with some hogs and hog rings and take it from there. So we're getting real close to being done. I got to put the springs on them both, and then it's done. Then I can turn it around and bring in the back again so I can finish the light that's going up there.